Hello, I'm Christina with The Turned Leg, and I have been a booth owner for over 10 years, and I have to say that this year is turning out to be one of the best ever as far as sales, which I'm not complaining because that's all good. That's one of the reasons why we do what we do, right? Besides finding old pieces, wonderful homes, we also want to make a little money. But because of all of those sales, I have to get inventory. So I am heading to Ohio today. I'm heading over to Toledo, Ohio to go see what I can find. One of the things that's really been hot for me lately has been furniture. I cannot keep things in stock. Things that I've even had for a while are moving. And although that's wonderful, I get a little nervous when my supplies get low. I like to have a little bit of backstock. If you are new to the channel and you don't follow me, all of the pieces that I get usually need some work. So I like to save stuff. Maybe I will refinish. Maybe I will restore. Maybe if the piece is so bad or the veneer is so damaged, I will paint. So because of that, I need a little lead time. I can't just usually pop all the pieces into my booth. So I have a lot of dressers. I'm really looking for desks, for buffets, for china cabinets, for hutches, and for anything else that catches my eye. And of course, I need smalls too because smaller items are selling. So come with me to Toledo. It was a rainy day and that was the perfect day to go on a thrifting adventure. One of the things that has been selling really well are tiny pictures that I can put into bookcases. I thought I would check there first before heading to furniture, but when I looked at where the furniture usually is, there was a blank space. I try not to get discouraged. I grabbed a cart anyways. I was still going to look around. They did have this dresser, which I got kind of excited about. If it would have been solid, well-built piece, it was a really good price. It was just a cheap knockoff and it wasn't well built. This ottoman was kind of a cool piece too, but it had some weird staining to it that I knew I couldn't get off. I didn't want to be discouraged. After all, I needed smalls, so I decided to take a look and I saw some good pieces at good prices. That was only $1. I also found this cute little teapot. I think it was missing a top, otherwise I would have picked it up. I decided to keep looking through the shelves and I did find some items to use for my altered book journals that I've been working on. I'm doing those live on Facebook and I'm also going to be hopefully putting some up on YouTube soon. So look for those. And ta-da! I found something that was coming home with me. This topiary tree was going in my cart. Stay tuned to the end to see what else I found. Greenery is always good this time of year. And hello, there were a lot of these dolls. You're going to see them. A few of them did come home with me. They reminded me kind of Royal Dalton. They are not, but they were beautiful. And the prices were oh so good. I also spotted this music box. I've been having good luck with music boxes lately. So this one did work. It came home with me too. And I kept looking. Great piece here I would have picked up. Had a big chip. You always got to look. Otherwise, if you get too excited, you miss things. This was gorgeous. Another piece that came home with me, only $5, but they had stuff everywhere. Mugs really have not been doing too good for me lately, the Noritake and the like in the browns. So I stayed away from these since there was only 2 of them, but 99 cents was a deal. I always love to see the variety, and this store had a lot of cool vintage. Let me show you some of the things I spotted in like the brown and wood area. And you're gonna have to guess which ones came home with me and which ones I decided to leave on the shelf. I will tell you though, I was totally energized and really excited after visiting the store. I mean, there were areas like the pictures that were completely bare. I did spot this flower. It also had a sugar inside. I already have the full set in my booth, so I left it. And I headed off to Clear Glass, which is one of my favorite areas because there are some beautiful pieces. I was really kind of obsessed with like oil and vinegar containers. The prices were so good and they were just beautiful. You could use them as a vase, right? I did decide to leave these here, but I almost think creating like a collection in my booth might be a good future idea and staging them appropriately. So excited for this one. $2.99, but then broken. Bummer. Off to another store, and this is the second Salvation Army in Toledo. The first one was the other one I visited, and the shelves were kind of bare. Usually in Toledo, the shelves are pretty stacked, so this was a little surprising. I haven't seen this in a while. It might have just been, you know, the day that I went and how many donations they received. I like some of these little items. I guess I've been picking smaller things. This was a beautiful set, not complete, partial pieces for only $5.99. And look what I found, a cool souvenir tray. I passed one up a while ago that was too pricey, so I was taking this one home with me. If you haven't seen my Thrift Detroit video, I'll put a link here, but look at the shelves. I don't think I've ever seen them so bare. This wooden napkin holder is going home with me. I don't like napkins on the table, and it has a hook, so I'm gonna put it in my kitchen. Sometimes I buy things for myself. I would have brought this home, but it was really loose. I didn't spot anything much in clear glass. Mary Goods goodies I thought was just cute. There was no top. I thought this piece would have fit in nicely with those other two if I would have picked them up. Okay, there are things in my cart. Stay tuned to the end. There are things I'm picking up I'm not showing you. I will show them all to you. There was furniture here. I got excited, but not really what I'm looking for. This kind of children's bedroom sets with the bookcase things do not sell well for me. This piece I thought was real wood. It was not. It was like IKEA particle board, and it was already sold. And that was the extent of the furniture area. So disappointing. So I went to linens. I really loved this piece. Unfortunately, someone had sewn it into like a cover for a sofa, and I didn't want a seam rip at all. And for $10, although it was cool, it probably would have been a lot more work than I wanted to. Also found some vintage sheets. I don't know, do these sell well for anybody? I have another set I haven't brought in yet, so that was my friendly reminder to bring it into my booth and see if they sell. Let me know if they sell in your area. Third store was a Goodwill, and remember, furniture was the goal, so I was hopeful, very hopeful. I headed right to the furniture area, and okay, I'm seeing some pieces, but when you're really in a furniture drought, everything is looking good. This pink upholstered chair really had seen better days. I got excited. Remember I said I wanted a desk, and this was a beaut from about 10 feet away. When I got closer, okay, I loved the hardware, just absolutely loved it. There were a lot of cool details, but the more you looked, the more troubles and problems I saw. I really wanted like a wood desk. I didn't want a ton of work. This was missing veneer and trim. It did have a good name, but all of the insides were a mess, and frankly, the whole piece was just a lot more work than I needed if I was going to be paying money for it. I also saw this piece. It was a beaut, but I find those curbside all the time, so I decided to pass on it. And have you ever wanted to just buy an organ? I kind of was tempted at this point, a bit slap happy because I hadn't found anything. Time to check out the rest of the store. In my area, I don't usually shop Goodwills. They're just not close to me, and the prices tend to be very high except when there's sales. And I always seem to be busy on those days. There were some pretty dishes. I think I can find pretty dishes at almost any thrift store. They're not going to sell great for me, but I do like to look at them. I also saw this basket. Anyone know why there's such a long handle? This caught my eye. I loved the hand painting, and if originally I thought it was like a washboard, I saw the big crack, so it was a no. And then I realized I think it's like a towel rack. I don't know, odd piece. Off to clear glass, and I really wasn't spotting too much. I do find a lot of vintage glassware here. Today I spotted these colored glasses. Some were older than others, but once again the odd numbers of like 3. The next store and final store in Toledo was Goodwill. Come on, furniture! And I'm seeing a lot of empty floor space when I walked in. I did spot a table I got a little excited about, And it was pretty, once again, from a distance, but lots of damage. I really didn't want too many painted pieces. They had like these Hitchcock-looking chairs, so excited. Ones in the front were real pretty. As you looked, the fruit on the top was like missing on these, and they still wanted like $25 a chair. So no thank you. The rest of the area had nothing I was interested in. At the very end, I spotted this piece, which was really cool, but it was so unstable. It didn't pass the rocking test. The shelves were also really bare here. I mean, I saw a few pieces. I loved these owl mugs. I love souvenirs, but $4 each just were not going to work for me. So I kept looking, but there were just a lot of newer items. I did spot this little box, but it was $8 and not in the greatest of shape. Since I found no furniture in Toledo, I decided to go back into Michigan and hit a few stores. There's a Restore in Monroe I visited. I did pick up a few treasures here. These chairs came home with me. They were also on sale. There were other pieces, but I really didn't need china cabinets at this time. This is a great place to visit if you have never been here before. There are so many cool things if you needed a large display cabinet, but I didn't see desks that would work for me. I kept finding sewing machines instead. I thought this piece might be a buffet, but it was completely filled with drawers like from a dresser. This was a cool piece. I thought, yes, I found a desk. On closer inspection, it was a small dresser. They had taken the drawers out. It was totally unstable. So not finding much. They did have items, just nothing I was looking for. Well, okay, I did take this too. Small wicker footstool. This was a beautiful table and chairs. Only $25 for everything. That was a good deal, but it wasn't what I was looking for. I decided to hit one more thrift store in Monroe. I had not been there in a while, and when I walked in, oh my goodness, they had a lot of furniture and a lot of everything else. So it was time to kind of investigate, see if I could find anything that I was looking for. They had this Bonnet Girl, Bonnet Guy baby quilt. It was a little bit pricey for me. I think it was over $10, and it was really small. There was a lot of linens, but nothing else that caught my eye. The chenille spread was so worn you could hardly see the patterns anymore, but I was still on the hunt. The prices were good for some things if you looked. That little picture was $1.50, and we were in furniture land. And look, they had a bust. I think I should have picked her up. She was $40. Let me know below if you think I missed out on her. They also had some old clocks. I was finding prices all over the place. Some were really high, some were low. I loved this like Frankenstein piece. It was $10. Was not pretty and probably not a good buy. This was a gorgeous piece until you looked closer. Look, they just broke off the decorative piece over the glass instead of removing it. That was a little bit strange. There was a lot of furniture, almost overwhelming. I went to HomeGoods and I started finding some really good pieces. Once again, you had to dig. I mean, there was stuff everywhere and ask prices. I did spot this desk, which I really liked. I didn't like the price, and there was a lot of work that needed to be done. Back to more kitchen items, and luckily, I mean, the shelves were stacked, so that was great. I'm sure there are things I missed. There were also a lot of things I got excited about. These happy face mugs always sell well for me, so you bet I'm going to pick each one of them up. They had 3, $2 each. That was a good deal. But then I loved this little planter. It was $5. It seemed a little bit pricey for me. But this planter was not as expensive. Stay tuned to the end to find out what I paid. So you just had to look. And I'm all about the thrill of the hunt. I think I will definitely be coming back to this thrift store for like another hunt and deep dive because I'm sure I missed a lot of really cool stuff. And I love these wall hangings. I would have picked up the mirrors, but one of them was missing a mirror. Don't need projects, but they were a good deal. I thought this trunk might be a good deal too. I loved the hardware and the look of it, but on closer inspection, it had a lot of dings, and I just didn't want to paint it the way it was. I thought it was too pretty. I am back, and you're not going to believe what I found. Now, I didn't find a lot of furniture as I had hoped, but I found a lot of good deals. Let's take a look. All of the items have already been added into my booth at Plaza Antiques and Collectibles Mall in Lincoln Park. And I didn't show you, I thought it'd be better just to show you in the booth. I also got these 2 chairs for only $30 each. I am so thrilled with the Goofus glass. That's one of my favorites, and I thought it was a steal at $5. Also, did you know it was on that dish? Yes, that's hops, what makes beer. So I found that fascinating too. Thank you for joining me on this thrifting adventure. I hope you guys had fun. I'm curious what you thought the best deal was or the coolest thing I found was. Now get out there to salvage, repurpose, and create.